Hey friends, welcome back to the Author Spotlight. I'm your host, Michael D. Butler, Beyond Publishing in Dallas, Texas. I'm very excited about our next guest today. He's written a book that is very powerful called My Game, My Pain, My Purpose, Saved, Delivered, and Redeemed. His name, Kevin Kirchen in Dallas, Texas. And I just want to read you from the back of the book that you're going to find that Kevin witnessed the hardcore sex scene firsthand through years of personal experience. He finally surrendered his life to the Lordship of Jesus Christ and now shares his testimony to set the captives free. The back title of the book, on the back cover, it says, "When everything you ever wanted turns into nothing you ever expected." A lot of people that go down Kevin's road of drugs, sex, rock and roll, and rebellion never survive. But Kevin survives and he thrives, and he's with us here today. Kevin, thank you so much, and congratulations on your new book, My Game.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Now, this is not a small book. This is your life story, and basically 130 pages. You've recently gone #1 on Amazon with the print book and the ebook. So tell me, what inspired the book for you, Kevin?
Wow.
What inspired it?
It was a situation. It was a situation with my wife and I were talking. It was my story. And maybe you should write a book. And I thought about it for a while, and then we started flowing with the book. And it inspired me because a lot of people have gone down those roads. And I kind of wanted to show that there is redemption, that you can survive. It's a lot about God. I mean, I'm going to be straight up. You know, I'm a Christian. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. And, you know, God was the one that helped me through these things. So I'm hoping that when I inspired the book was to help people see there is a way out and survive and redeem. You know, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be, this interview would not be happening. I was on the road, fast road.
Now, you had some rejection in your life as a kid, and so many times when kids are rejected or don't have the love from a parent or both parents, this kind of happens. But tell me, why did you rebel? What was it for you that made you go into really this life of drugs that lasted so long?
Well, there was a lot of stuff, but you know, I don't want to give away the book too much. You know, I want you to be able to purchase the book and read the book, and you'll kind of. I've had some people tell me that they were in it, they were in the book, and I was going. But when I was a young kid, you know, my father died at an early age, and then my mom basically gave me up for her boyfriend. She drove me to the police station and dropped me off at 14. And so at that point, you know, I was in the church, and so with all that happening, I said, well, my father left me, my mom abandoned me, and the church left me, so God is kind of out of the picture now. And that's when, you know, the devil paid me a visit. And so I don't want to go too much into that piece, but yeah, I didn't have anything left, nothing left but to bury every feeling and every emotion and every pain and every hurt and everything that I could. And drugs was a good way to do it.
You found acceptance, you found affirmations in, you know, being an acceptance, being a celebrity, being a dancer. You know, at what point you were trying to kill the pain, and obviously they're running really hard, trying to numb the pain. At what point did you wake up and come to yourself and say, hey, if I don't change things, I'm gonna die at an early age? What was the defining moment for you?
Well, you know, like I have to say, look, but there wasn't. I was on the road to just, I was from Chippendale's dancer. You know, I was 20 years old when I came in to be a Chippendale dancer, phony ID and all, you know, and I went through the paths, and somewhere in the line, I crossed that line of me controlling the drugs to the drugs controlling me. And there was never a place where I could get off the train. And eventually it was crying out to God when I finally, it was too much. You know, I talk about depression, I talk about suicidal thoughts and almost pulling a trigger. I talk about, you know, the real life stuff in this book, and it was only by God's grace, you know, never giving up. I never gave up. I kept saying, you know, I can do this. I can do this. Come on, God. Come on, God. And I never gave up. I just never gave up. And finally, I can only say it was a divine intervention that came in. God came in and, you know, touched by that. And it didn't stop me though. You know, there was some work. I have to make choices. You always have to choose. You know, everything in life, there has to be a choice, you know. And so even now, you know, I had to choose to do this interview. I have to choose to not get high. I have to choose to not do those things anymore. So where choice has to happen.
Hey, Kevin, was there somebody praying for you? Did you have a pastor, a grandmother, an uncle, or somebody that was praying for you? Because your story of redemption is so miraculous. I got to think there was somebody praying for you somewhere.
Yeah, there was many. I didn't know. I had no idea, but there was many people that were praying for me. You know, I had my foster mother praying for me, and I left them when I was 17. But I found out later in the book, he talks about it, where we reunited like 30 years later. He was praying for me. I had my wife who came into the game at the end of the road, but still she was praying. I found out that there were so many people that were praying for me. That's the only way that I made this, and I had no idea. And I'm so grateful for all the prayers that people did to put me into a position where I am now, that I can share God with everybody and Jesus and say, it's real. Prayer is real. God is real. Jesus is real, and all things possible.
You know, I know you speak everywhere, and I know you're online a lot and just encouraging people and sharing your testimony and things like that. What would you say to a kid that maybe is that 14-year-old kid that has been kicked out, and because of a relationship, his parents being divorced or whatever, has run away from home or is in the foster care? What would you say to that kid that's going through that pain, that rejection, that abandonment right now?
You know, I used to say that I understand, but I can't say it. I know even when I know what they're going through, I understand what's happening. I can't say I know what they're going through, because two people could be in the same place at the same time and experience two things. So I try to tell them about my story, and that there is a chance to get out of that situation. I'm just a living example of hope. You know, I've been down all those roads, and I know that you can make it out. You can be successful. You can, you know, you can. And I just have to share my experience. I don't have anything else but my experience, and hopefully my experience will get them to go, well, hey, maybe that can happen for me too, and lead them down that other road.
You know, Kevin, we're getting some great feedback. I'll just share this from Amazon. A verified review from Renee Bush says, this is a big story that will leave you in awe. Kevin's journey from a 14-year-old abandoned teen to a drug-addicted adult film star is a new man in Christ. It's breathtaking. This book is simply an amazing gift from God that will tug at your heartstrings. 5-star material. And then from Brian, who you know as Boston Lobster, says, you're my friend. I'm happy to learn of your redemption and your reemergence as such a spirited man. He goes on to say, the book is fantastic and you captured the real meaning of living. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. A powerful message waits for those who read it. Thank you, my old friend. I hope to someday see you again. And how does it feel to be touching so many lives with your story? Because we're getting all kinds of feedback like this. What are you hearing from people that are reading the book? What kind of feedback are you getting, Kevin?
I'm getting a lot of, and it kind of makes me tear up too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've got a lot to be grateful for. One of the things, I'm going to come back and let you answer that questions. But one of the things is the book cover is so edgy. I've got it pulled up here on the screen. My gain, my pain. My game, my pain, my purpose. I mean, you got a syringe here. You got a stripper. You got a martini. You got the Bible. You got a wad of cash. How did you come up with this kind of edgy and controversial book cover?
Oh, man, I'm still getting over that last question. Hold on a second. What happened was it was a dream. When the book first happened, I saw it was always sex, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and the S of sex became saved, and the D of drugs became delivered, and the R of rock and roll became redeemed. And at that point, where do I go with that? So I just, I sat back and got quiet, and I had this dream, and I saw this cross with everything on it. I'm not going to give up what that means, but I can tell you that the cross, I don't want to give that piece away. I explain it really in the book, but I came up with that because that's what it was for me. It was all of my junk came on that cross.
Now I think
like
there
I said,
was
I'm believing Jesus Christ. So he took everything when he was here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, it's just simply beautiful, and I think it really portrays kind of the before and after, because you were so hurt and broken as a kid. There's a lot of hurting kids out there right now. We're seeing a lot of kids really search for an identity right now, and a lot of anger and a lot of brokenness going on. What would you say? Because I know there were a couple times in the book that you literally almost died. You went to the hospital and it didn't look like you were going to make it. What would you say to a kid right now that's really angry and either they got the gun pulled and want to kill themselves? What would you do to reach somebody like that right now?
Right now, I would. It sums up the book. See, I hate to be emotional. I just want somebody to take the pipe out of their mouth, take the needle out of their arm, maybe take the knife from their arm or the gun from their mouth, and just give it a chance. Read the book. Read the book. Experience God. He's in the book. And if just one person takes that pipe out of their mouth, or takes that straw out of their nose, or takes that gun out of their mouth, or takes those pills and flushes them, one person, complete success for me, Michael. It's a complete success. One person gets saved and is able to turn their lives around.
That is just awesome. I know your story is going to touch a lot of lives. We launched the book about a month and a half ago, and I tell you, we've been getting some tremendous feedback. And I know you're available to speak everywhere. And we're in Texas, so Texas churches are meeting, maybe not at full capacity, but what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? I'm going to put the Facebook up again. I know they can reach out to you through Facebook, but I know you're speaking to groups large and small. What would you say about that? Is there a plan this fall to be back on the road and be speaking more and doing these types of interviews?
Well, I've had some film companies approach me. I've had some things happening lately that I've gotten some feedback on, and so I'm sitting back to see what that info at my game, my pain, my purpose is an email that you can reach me at.
Okay, I'll put
and
that
that would be the best way to reach me. Yeah, info at my game, my pain, my purpose. But I have a lot going on, and I'm really pleased with the book. I wasn't expecting the responses that I got. I wasn't expecting the people from the past to come back, and I wasn't expecting people to be crying in the book and say, I've had people say, I feel what you did. Thank you for writing the book, because I was going through that depression. I was going through that time, and you actually helped me to get that peace. And so I didn't expect it to be what it turned out to be, but hey, praise God, it is, man. And I see what happens with it, and people to read it and understand that there is more than just. But I address everything. There's not, like people have said, well, the Bible doesn't talk about depression. I talk about depression. I talk about suicide. I talk about anger. I talk about all of those things and how to get through that. There it is. Yeah, info at my game, my pain, my purpose.
We got that correct,
But
Kevin? Yeah.
I'm yeah, that's it right there. You got it, Michael. And I would like people to read the book. There's a lot of cool things in that book, and the cover. I kind of dodged that. The back cover just has, from here down, it has my arm, which is redeemed, and all that on my arm, because I didn't want to make the book about me. So you kind of see, and if you knew me, okay, that's him. But I wanted to keep it away from me and not glorify the past, and be able to show people redemption, that there is. It doesn't matter how bad you are, how bad you were, how bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're alive now, and we can move forward. I don't judge any. Believe me, don't judge. You can tell me anything, Michael. I'll be like, let's work through it. Let's work through it. But glory to God, it's about redemption.
Well, that's powerful. That's exciting. And we've got the email up. You can reach out to Kevin. I know he'd be happy to pray with you and encourage you and speak to your group. If you've got an online group that's not meeting during the pandemic and you want to get him on a Zoom call like this, and I've got the Amazon link up where you can go and purchase the hardcover, the paperback, or the ebook. Kevin, just very exciting here. I believe, even though there's a lot of pain out there, there's a lot of, I believe there's 100 solutions for every problem. And I think your story illustrates that, because there was an enemy that definitely tried to take you out as a kid, and you had something beautiful in your heart to share with the world. And so we're so grateful that you chose life. And even though, like most of us, we get banged up and make wrong choices, it's never too late, is it? I mean, it's never too late. What would you say? I'm 52 years old. What if there's somebody 50, 60 years old or 70 years old watching? Is it too late for them, or is there still hope?
Well, in fact, you can be a little man right here. But no, no, there's never, when it's too late? It's too late when the funeral happens. That's when it's too late. Before that, it's never too late. It's never too late. And I have to say that anybody and everybody has a chance, and we have to make choices, and it's not too late. You're 52, Michael. It's not too late. It's not too late for anybody to.
It's not too late
to move in that direction. I can tell you this.
Interrupt a few funerals, right?
I had no idea who I was. The book talks about that.
Yeah.
I had to find out who Kevin was. I really didn't find out who Kevin was until I was, 40. So, yeah, it's a lot. And anybody that wants to talk to me, hey, shoot me an email. We can talk. If you want me to come talk where you're at, I can do that. I'm just happy to share what's happened, and hopefully other people will be able to relate to those things. That's why I kept it real. It's a real book. It's raw. It's raw, and it's real. I didn't want to sugarcoat it. You know, let's talk about the real stuff. Let's not. Nobody wants to talk about the real stuff anymore. They want to kind of push it aside and push it aside. Out there, Michael. I left it all out there.
Well, Kevin, I know it's your first book and it's doing great, and I know there's more to come. We're going to be following you on social media. We're going to be sharing your story. Guys, follow Kevin on social. There's his Facebook. You got his email. Grab the book and follow him. Reach out. And I just really, I think there's big things ahead, Kevin, and I'm really excited because, you know, God is really using your message to rescue people that feel like it's too late, and sin will always take you farther than you want to go, and it will leave you in more pain and misery than you ever thought. And so your story of coming back and from those near death, I mean, you were almost out of the picture, man. And I'm just so glad to be a part of this great story of redemption, as Charmaine says. Charmaine, yes, indeed, great story of redemption. Thank you for sharing that, Charmaine, on the Author Spotlight, where every Sunday we interview amazing authors from around the globe. So, Kevin, thank you so much. My Game is the name of the book. You can grab it anywhere books are sold, not just on Amazon, but Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, IndieBound Books. My Game, My Pain, My Purpose, saved, delivered, and redeemed. Kevin, Senior Pastor Dono says, Dono Pellman from Life Changing Faith Church, raw, real, and redemptive. So thanks for being raw and real and changing so many lives and following your dreams and sharing your story on the Author Spotlight, Kevin. Thank you so much. Any closing words you want to leave with the
thank you,
words today? Any closing thoughts?
The only closing thoughts I have is God bless everybody. Be safe. Enjoy life.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Charlotte says, amazing grace. Yes, indeed. So many encouraging words here, guys. Your story really matters. And Kevin, I believe your best days are ahead of you, brother. So great we met through Instagram, through a mutual friend here on Instagram in Dallas. And I tell you, this Charmaine's got an amazing story. We're going to have her on the Author Spotlight soon, and her story that the power.
I do want to say one thing, Michael. I want to say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the book, one thing is I do address the issue of pornography. I'm not going to leave that. I'm going to let you know that I do. And that's because right now it's being so glorified and the kids want to do it. Everybody's like, oh, this is great. So there's another piece of that book that we didn't on in this interview. I want you to understand that we need to fix those things in the world today. We need to fix that because that's the road straight to destruction.
Well, I'm glad you shared that. The stats are saying that during the quarantine, kids are being targeted that have lost their wait staff jobs and things. And I know your message is gonna keep many of them out of that ditch, out of that disaster. So thank you so much for being on the show, Aaron. Kevin, have a great day, brother. For being on the
Yes, be blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.